today, well, I'm going to do a garden update. And I did this for you yesterday. I actually wanted to edit and upload it and get it up for you last night. And I sat down at the computer after I've had such a long week, long vacation. Most of it was spent with my grandkids from Reno and my grandson here, and wouldn't trade a second of it. It was so wonderful. But I had the weekend to catch up and prepare for some things that are coming up around the corner for me, and do some deep cleaning, organizing, and getting ready to paint that front bedroom finally. Anyway, so I got some new shelving units in the garage to organize my stuff. I donated some stuff. I went to the dump. What? I went to the dump by myself for the first time ever. I mean, I've been to a dump, but I never got out and did anything. I was there for moral support. Anyway, none of my stuff was icky, but I just had some stuff that I needed to get rid of and some yard debris. And so I thought, well, I'll just go to the dump. Anyway, got that done. So busy weekend. And by the time I sat down to edit, it was already getting dark. It was too late to redo the video. So if you don't have the phone situated just right, it'll give you that skinny. If your phone is up and down, it'll give you that skinny version. Well, I started the video like that, and then I went, oh, and I turned it. Well, it didn't change it. It changed the look for me, but it didn't change the format for the video for you guys. So that being said, everything was sideways. It was all bad. So I'm going to take you out. You're going to miss a little bit of what happened. The boys and I got the garden beds all cleaned out, and I did some planting yesterday. And so I want to take you, before things get too big and too crazy out there, I'm going to take you out and show you what I've got going on in the garden. The garden this year is going to be quite different. Every year I kind of change it up a little bit, but it's going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be more for exactly what I use, exactly what I like to can out of it, and what I want to keep coming back year after year, and what I use all year long. So I've got some new things out there. So one of which is I finally got bed cleaned out. I amended the soil, filled up that bed with really good compost and soil, organic mix for my asparagus bed. And the reason I didn't do them last year is because those new beds, I wanted them to settle, the dirt to settle down, and I'll be able to top dress, but for the most part, the asparagus roots are in. So I did 7. One of them had 2 crowns on it. So I went ahead and snipped the root, and the roots are dormant. They're in a dormant stage. I won't be picking asparagus here, none this year. Next year, if it's, you know, bigger than a pencil, you can do it without damaging the root system. But you really want to be patient and let them settle in and really get established. So my crowns are buried about 2.5 inches, 2 to 2.5 inches deep, so they won't ever get exposed or injured or anything, because that'll kill your whole plant. So I've got asparagus watered in, and I planted some sweet peas, some snap peas, and let's see, and some lettuces. They had 2 pony packs of these different lettuces, a frisee and a different one that I really like. They were half off. And so I thought, well, I'll just buy them, and then that way at least I have cheap lettuce coming up this spring. I didn't get my radishes in like I had planned, but I will tonight or tomorrow. So I'm going to be planting radishes. Our temperatures are more mild. Everything I have out there, though, is cold hardy, and it'll be fine. You want to plant your asparagus now. Late February, early March, whenever you can work the soil, because those roots are dormant and you want them to come alive in an environment that is conducive to a plant coming back out of a dormant state. So that's what I did. Okay, and I'm going to take you out there and just show you what I got. And hopefully if you watch the last garden update, you'll see the difference in what I've got going on. All right, let's go. Okay, it's a beautiful morning. It is. So this will be one of my next projects. I've got to pressure wash this deck and get all the, you know, it gets
mold and algae or whatever, moss buildup. So I'm going to get that pressure washed, cleaned, and paint this deck, repaint the deck. Shotzi was a little hard on it, but that's okay. Now, so here's where I planted my sweet peas, and I made a couple of executive decisions yesterday. So they'll vine up this trellis, this ladder, and these are spring plants, so it's not like you're going to have these in the heat of summer. I'll replant this bed a little bit later. I do have some herbs that are going to go in my little herb bed that I'll show you in a second. These are garlic, chives, thyme, and sage. And the sage will come back. The chives will come back. I don't believe the thyme will, but that's okay. I'm going to make a complete herb bed, so I'm kind of self-sufficient on herbs and stuff like that. The kale, and I just picked the tar out of it the other day, and it's already, I mean, these leaves are already coming back. Any of these seed heads, I'm pinching them off because I'm not letting this go to seed just yet. I'm still picking, and then once I've lost that battle, so to speak, once I lose that battle, then I'll replant this bed. But let's see, anybody else trying? Yep, they're trying hard. I've already done this a couple of times, but that's okay. Gotta keep at it as long as you can and get as much off this plant as you can. And yeah, beautiful kale though. And then this was some volunteer lettuce. Now I haven't planted this because I want to add some soil and amend that. We pulled out all the strawberries, me and the boys, and this front bed is going to be my herb garden. Okay, so I'll have room, like that's parsley that is coming back from last year. I'm going to see if I can't transplant it, but I've got to amend the soil. So I'm going to get some soil today and try to do that tonight so I can get those in. I've got to amend this bed, and the two big beds will still have to be amended. But check out my Swiss chard. Now that's from last spring's plants that I bought, and it's wintered over. Last fall it had a little wimpy stage look to it, but it never died off, and I picked it all winter long. It's great for salad, for sauteing. My rosemary stayed healthy. The parsley is back, and I've got dried parsley still, and I want to say this is cilantro. Let's see what we got. Nope, parsley. Oh my gosh, delicious. So this is where I did the asparagus, and I did it in this bed because they get a quite extensive root system, and this way it'll have plenty of room to go down. And the other beds are a little more shallow, so I thought, this will give plenty of room to go down. It's got good drainage, and they really do need good drainage. I put them about a foot apart. There's 7 plants in there, so it should be plenty. Once the plants mature, you're going to have years, like up to 40 years of production, and then you just top dress when you need to. So next year, as this soil depletes, I'll give it some fresh compost. My succulent is doing awesome. Here's the lettuces that I planted. These were 50% off, and they looked a little peaked, but they're going to pop right back, I promise. And the ones that don't, hey, it's okay. Some bunching onions from last year. And my blueberry bush is full. Look at all these little buds. These are all flowers. This will be loaded with little blueberries, and they're so sweet. So I'm putting some stove ash into the compost or the beds as well, and I'll work that in. It just adds a little bit more nutrient to the soil, and just gives you a better growing environment. So garlic. Obviously the garlic in the bed is doing way better than the garlic over here, even though they're spaced the same. Weird. Kind of strange, huh? But we'll see in the end how they do. So the garlic is doing awesome. I'm excited. We're going to have garlic scapes this spring. So again, the kale, pinch back any of those seed heads. because you don't want it to go to seed yet. I'm not done picking. Look at these big, beautiful kale leaves. They're awesome. By May, I'll replace these plants with something else. Probably Swiss chard and tomatoes and peppers and tomatillos. This is all Swiss chard that I planted last fall. Leeks. I've got to get to the leeks. I use one and it seems like, well, that was one. So, I've got a ton here. I'm going to see if the neighbors want any. Okay, and I've got something that's digging. Look, digging in my garden bed. This is grass clippings, and that'll be worked into the soil as well. And then I'll amend this with probably 6 more cubic feet, maybe 8 cubic foot of compost and garden soil. Oh, let's go look. The rhubarb. Oh my gosh, the rhubarb. Okay, the rhubarb is flourishing. I've got another weed I got to get out of there, but it is, I mean, there's buds of leaves all over the place. This will fill this bed. And I'm going to come in here with some mulch. I'll mulch this real good. It likes the acidity of that mulch. And yeah, we're going to have some rhubarb pie coming up. Strawberry rhubarb pie. My neighbor took all this grass out and turned it over. I'd like to fill that with rocks just to keep the weeds down, you know. And it slopes so sharp to the fence that it's really hard to mow. This way you don't have that sharp angle. But guys, I hope this inspires you to take the space you have. It doesn't have to be a huge space. I mean, I love that I've got these garden beds out here. This isn't for everybody, but I think now more than ever, we have to try to be a little bit more self-reliant on our food system because things are so expensive in the store. A bundle of Swiss chard that's probably 6 large leaves, which you know it cooks down to nothing, is $2.99 and $3.50. It's ridiculous, and that's not even for organic. So I don't know, I urge you. And if you have any questions or suggestions for my garden, let me know. If there's something you'd like me to grow, I would love that suggestion, and I can't wait to see you guys next time for another delicious recipe, quite easily using some of that Swiss chard and or some garlic scapes. Ooh, Swiss chard and chive saute, or not chives, leek saute. Let me know if you want to see how I do that. All right, guys, I'll see you next time, and I hope that you guys have a blessed spring season and you get your plants in the ground. All right.